Okay, what we're going to be talking about in this video is the Strategy Trader version 10. So here what we have is the Manager version 10. So let's open up some charts and see if we got any that are even started. Now I have a default template set up like so. So when I open all the charts, it will open with Strategy 1 on it. But what I want to do is see if there's any that are even giving a start signal at all. So we go ahead and open up all the charts. I'm using the 28 chart, the 28 pairs. And as you see, we do have one that's possibly giving the first signal. And there you can see it's signaling that we possibly eventually maybe go long, depending on the other filters that come into play. Because remember, we're in Strategy 1, and in Strategy 1 has the most filters that need to be met before it will enter a trade. So this one could be, if it does go this way, could be way up here before it enters a trade. But this is the version 10 of Strategy Trader. And if you've looked at how many of our other ones are basically the same. These are what we have in the settings. You have a choice of the 5 different strategies. Now, number 1, remember, requires the most filters. So you could say it's maybe the safest, maybe not. And it takes the longer to get started into, and it can have longer trades. It has more filters, requirements that have to be met before it will enter a trade. And as you get closer down to number 5, 5 will get in quicker. They're all 1 hour. You can't change them. If you go up and try to change them, they'll just go back to the 1 hour, so you can't change them. Now the settings we do have, we got what I call it as a Marty. This has changed originally. This was a little different, but I've switched back to what I call Marty, which I've used previously in some other strategies in the past. And how you set it up, there's 3 settings, and these particular settings are based on fib numbers. So it's 0.618 times whatever the daily average is. Average daily move is. I'll show you on another chart here in just a minute. But there's only 3 of them. And what that does, when it opens a trade, it'll put those 3 lines on the chart. So if the trade goes against you into that direction and hits those, it will put on another trade. And in this case, it uses a 1, 2, 3 multiplier. So the first Marty line it hits will put on a 1 times whatever lot size you're using. If it hits the second Marty line, 2 times the lot size you're using, and if it hits the third Marty line, then you're 3 times your lot size. So you do have to be careful so you don't try to overtrade and get rich overnight. These you can change, put whatever you want in there. Try to keep them in this order though, smaller than the next largest one, and then the next largest one. You don't want to, have a large one there and then a small one and another large one over here. Try to keep them in a decent order. Then we got the 1 trade cycle, and that refers to this 1 cycle button up here. What that means is, say you entered this trade and then you got an exit signal up here if you had the one cycle turned on, it would not take another trade. Where with the run cycle turned off, when it gets out of this trade, it will start looking to see if it can take another trade, more than likely in the opposite direction, because the exit for a long trade is the opposite signal, swing signal. So it would exit up here with an opposite signal, then it would start looking for a short trade. But if you got the one cycle turned on, once it exits up here, if it does, you're done. Then if you want to start over again, you can hit the reset button and it will clear everything out and let you start looking for another trade. So you can turn this on, and then when it hits up here, this will light up, so you know you can use the reset then. That's basically what this does. When you turn this on here, it sets up the one cycle. And then we got the add to the trades. That mainly works probably best when you're into a trending where you got a longer trade. It will add on trades, like say if you got into a long trade down here someplace, it may add on a trade here, it may add on another trade here. Could even add on a trade up here if your exit was up here. So you got your choice whether you want to use those. Here, I'll kind of show you what they look like over on a live chart here once. I'm just going to do is close all these. No point in having all this stuff running right now. And of course, all those signals, just like I said before, will all show up back here. So let's just get him out of the way. And we'll bring over. This is the one that's been running all week. Like I said before, it's pretty flat today. There's nothing going on today. Look at this. It's just sitting there doing about nothing. Okay, so now I'll show you what a trade we're in looks like. Here, this one has one trade open, this one has one trade open, this one has two trades open. But here you can see this is using strategy 1. This is the first signal. Now when I say signal or filter, that doesn't mean it just has to meet one thing. There could be a group of filters within this one to get this one to activate. So here you have the first signal that possibly we may want to go into a short trade, but it has to meet some more filters. And here's another one. This is the next one. Now remember, this could be a group of filters. It just doesn't mean it's one idea. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4 things that has to meet. Then this one will appear. And then we got another one down here. When it is met, it puts the breakout, what I call the breakout line on the chart. And once it closes below that breakout line, on the next candle, it takes the trade. And here you can see that it did that. It closed below the breakout line, next candle open, entered a trade. Now you can see I've got Marty turned on back here on this particular . I'm using Marty, and I'm also using the add-on trades. And I'm just using the regular average daily rate multipliers. So you can see the first one, this is 0.236 times the average daily range away. The next one is 0.618. Now these are all calculated from the opening price here, where it opened. So it's from here up to there, and then the next one is from here up to there, and then the next one is the farthest one, which is 618, which is up to there. And like I said, those are all based on the average daily range, which actually you can see. Let's see, this is the Euro Aussie. If you go back here, Euro Aussie is right here. The average daily range is 131 pips. So let's see how many pips that first one would have been. Looks like about 34. So apparently 34 pips must be close to 0.236 of that average daily range. So those are how those are all figured. Now we got one down here. Here's another short one. It's only got one trade on. And you can see it took the trade, closed below the line, and then the next open it took the trade, went short, and when it opens the trade, that is when these lines will appear. They do not appear until the trade opens up. Once the trade opens, because like I said, they're all calculated from where the trade was open. So, and like I said, if it comes back, if the price comes back and hits this one, let's see, what lot size are we trading? Okay, we're trading a 0.1 lot size. So if the price comes back and hits this, it will add a trade on at 0.1 lot. If it hits this one, 0.2 lots is 2 times the lot size, and this one would be 0.3 lot, since it's 3 times the lot size. Those are the steps, 1, 2, 3. You can't change those. You can change the distance of these lines, but not the 1, 2, 3 effect. And like I said, try to keep them in a meaningful order. Don't, so you don't make the first one so it's up here, and the second one so it's down here. You don't want to do that. Now you wonder, what is this yellow line? That is the add-on line. Now add-on lines are just, they use fractals. And we're all familiar with fractals and the idea of fractals, of using fractals as add-ons in a long trend or something like that. So here we got a fractal. If you were to put fractals on here, you'd have a fractal right here. You got your 5 fractal patterns, so it puts a breakout line there. So now when the price comes down and breaks out on the other side of this line, it will add a trade at your normal lot size. It doesn't do any multiplier or nothing like that. So it would put an add-on trade right here after it closed a 0.1 lot size. And as this moved down, if we got more fractals, okay, see we got some more fractals down here, it would put some more add-on lines. And we're just looking over here to see how many fractals we have. See here, if you were in a trade, see here you got a fractal right here. So if you were going up, you would have a fractal there. You'd have another one here. Another one here. So that's what I'm saying. It just it adds them on. And like I said, we're in strategy 1, so there's a lot more filters. That's why you see a lot of different looking signals over here. The star is always this beginning. Now he can move. So if he does, sometimes if he moves, he may start over again. Everything may cancel out and start over. It just depends on how fast he moves, or when he moves. So you may see this move. You know, if you got two peaks close together, he may be on the first one, and then all of a sudden he moved over before any of the other signals even appeared. Or even if he moves, and this signal's here, and this other breakout signal is here, and then he moves over here someplace, these signals will all get erased, and we will start over again with a new swing point. Because, you know, we know these things repaint like crazy. Nobody has found the solution to find the exact point at the first try, so they can move, and if they do, we try to take that into account. And if we get in a trade, caught in a trade where he does move, and we're in the trade already and the price starts going against us, that's why we're using these. You can call them recovery trades if you want to, but by getting into these, say you retrace way back up to here, you would have 0.3 lots, and then two more 0.5. 0.6, you would end up being this trade 0.7 lots. But as soon as you start pulling down, because this one is a 0.3 lot, you start getting down here, you will start going, you know, positive without having to go past your original entry. If you don't use Marty, then you have to go all the way past, you know, past your original entry point before you can even get positive again. But if you use Marty, you will get positive back up in here, which helps you make money out of trades sooner, you know, get in. Because a lot of these are gonna go against you. And like I said, we got a lot of different signals here because we're using strategy 1. We got the star, which is the first one, and we got this arrow here, which is, here's some down here. See, we got we can go over and look at one of those. There it is. You can see there we got the arrow. Then when we finally get to the cross line, that's when this line appears. And then finally, if you go into the trade, then you get the solid arrow, because this one we are into the trade. Now here's a case where we got two trades open. The first trade opened right here, then it went against us, and it hit our first Marty line, so it added another trade here, so we should be into it for 0.2 lots, which tells us right here, get two trades, 0.2 lots. So you can always look up here and it tells you how many lots you got open on that particular one. Now this one should say 0.1 lot. There you got one trade, 0.1 lot. Same way with this one here. One trade, 0.1 lot. Okay, so that, now if you want to see past trades, that's what this button shows you here. This will show you trades that have closed. Now here's two trades. Apparently this was a long trade. Took one trade there, took another trade there, and the exit was up there. This will only show you closed trades. It's not going to show you a present trade. Present trade is always that little yellow line. That's what that button does. Snap just takes a picture of this whole screen, puts it back in your file folder under Snap Images. And one cycle I told you about, if you just want to quit after it does one cycle, resets this one cycle rule. Now the go to, or the get out trade, GOT, is the same as it back in the manager. Say you got something here that's just going up and down, and it goes a little bit positive, then it goes negative, then it goes a little positive, and you say, I just want to get out of this stupid trade at break even if I can. Well, this got button only works when you're negative. So right now, I could turn it on. It will light up. If I wasn't negative at a loss, I could not turn it on. But now, if this thing, I don't want to do this. I'm going to turn that back off because I want to make sure this runs next week. I don't want to screw it up, remember? But if this goes positive, with this turned on, when you turned it on when it was negative, it will kill the trade. It'll shut her down. That's why I turned it off quick, because we're getting kind of close to positive here, and I don't want to actually kill this trade. I just want everything to run to see how things work out. But that's how that works. And if you want to add on a trade, you can do it with the sell or the buy buttons. Just hit the sell. Of course, you don't want to do it. In this case, we're in we're in a sell, so you could hit the sell and add on another sell trade whenever you wanted to, just manually. They're basically manual sell buy buttons. Exit, if you just want to get out of it right now, hit the exit button and exit the trade. This tells you what your maximum drawdown has been on open trades over here. This tells you what the maximum profit has been on open trades. This tells you what you're presently doing. It just adds these all together, and of course, right now they're all negative. This tells you what you're doing on the present trade on this one here, this on the Euro Aussie. And this tells you what the Euro Aussie has been down to, $2.77, and he's been as high as $5.12. Just gives you an idea what he's doing. Let's look at this one and see what he's been up to. This one's been down as low as $24.15, and he hasn't even gone positive yet. So he never did go positive yet. And we're looking for a long trade, so we're waiting for him to go up and see what happens. And we got this button down here, which you just click on that, and it takes you back to the manager. And of course back here you can see what this particular system has been doing so far. Right here, see? 48 trades, not too bad. You got that many losers. Sometimes you get a loser too, because like when you have two trades open on a pair, and all of a sudden it hits its reversal point. One of the trades could possibly be at a loss yet, but the combination of all the trades on that pair are positive. So, okay, so now I guess that's about everything. This just tells you what this particular pair is doing. This tells you total lots open right now is 0.4, because we're trading a 0.1 lot. So you got a point here, 0.1, 0.1, and here you got 0.2 because you got two open. So that tells you. And we got 4 open trades, which shows up with this. And then, like I say, all these here will be the same as what you got back here. So it gives you a good idea what's going on. Now if you take the Aussie dollar, there's nothing there because there's not even a swing point. over here yet. Now these swing points, it doesn't look back and put old ones on the screen. It only puts the present one on there if there is one. And in this case, it hasn't found one where it thinks it's going to do anything. Same way with the Euro CAD, nothing there. Euro Pound, it doesn't like it. Euro Dollar doesn't like that one. Pound US it doesn't like. Now here's the US CAD. Now this one is, you say, well, geez, look at where that one is, way back here. Well, that's because this is Friday, this is Thursday, this is Wednesday. This one was actually put on there Wednesday, and it's still waiting. It hasn't even gotten the second signal yet. So that's why that one, you say, hey, it's way back there. How come it ain't over here? Well, that's because it was put on there Wednesday, and we're still waiting for the second signal. We haven't even gotten any, the other arrow. Let's look at some of these other ones here once. Let's see, here's a green one. Oops, click on the right spot, we'll be okay. See, this one's a little bit sooner. This one was put on today. Now we're waiting for the next signal. Here's another one from today. And got a few more here. Here's another one today. Oops, there was a trade. I must have had this turned on and forgot to turn it off. That one was put on there today. So those all have, they got the first signal. These two, remember, had the second signal. Here's one. This was put on Wednesday. It finally got the second signal today, but now we're waiting for the others group of filters. So we'll add in the next, which would be the breakout line. And when you get the breakout line, you get a signal like this. Here's another one. Okay, I got both of them today. So got this one, got this one. Now we're waiting for the breakout line. So hopefully these will help you understand what's going on. Now, when you start out, like this one here, we're trading strategy 1 on all 28 pairs. You can have a bunch of drawdown when you start out, but you know how these things work. Sometimes you get in on them at a good time and they take off like a rocket ship. Other times you just sit there and do nothing, or a bunch of them will go against you. So that's one thing you got to account for in your money management. Like you say, well, this looks good. It only went down $103. Yeah, but, maybe next time it goes down $1,000. You don't know before it recovers and takes off. So you have to watch that in your money management. So I think that about does it. I got to get this off the screen before I hit a button I'm not supposed to hit and end up screwing it up for next week. I don't want to do that. So we'll get him over. I just park him on another screen. And this one here I can do whatever I want with because let's go back and look and see if we got any there. Nope, don't have anything. I was looking to see if we even have any that had the first signal, but we don't. I think before when I opened it up, we did have one, but we're into a new hour now, and we restarted it, so. Okay, so that about does it. Like I say, now if you're all finished and you want to do a new test, what I always do is I hit the fresh restart. It shuts all the charts. Give it a little minute here. It'll close down all the charts. and then it restarts the manager. Now I'm back to square one. Now I go back into my properties, and if I want to change something or set something up different, I do it here. And I always put in a comment filter here, so my stats are all filtered by this comment. And then set up whatever you want here. Most of these are referring to baskets. They look at your basket. So if your basket hits a certain percentage, you can shut down. So, but we explained all that in the other manager one. So, okay, so that about does it.